Hello, boys and girls. Today we will see the topic related to the rotational dynamics. Last time we have seen the uniform circular motion. Now the knowledge of the uniform circular motion we have to use in the applications. In the applications means knowledge of the uniform circular motion we have to apply to circular motions. So there are mainly three applications. So let us see the first application of the uniform circular motion. So let's see rotational dynamics applications of uniform circular motion. Now the first application of the uniform circular motion is when a car or vehicle moving along a horizontal circular motion. Now let's see the circular motion of a vehicle along the circular track, which is the horizontal level. So let's see. So this is the horizontal road. Now this is the vehicle moving along the circular track. So this is the vehicle moving towards left and taking turn. That means the performing uniform circular motion. So uniform circular motion of this vehicle. Let's see the vehicle which is moving along this circular track, which is horizontal, has mass m, and this vehicle is performing uniform circular motion along this horizontal track. So while moving along this circular track, this vehicle is acted upon by three basic forces. This vehicle undergoes three forces, or this vehicle is acted upon by three forces, and three different forces are. This is the vehicle. This point is center of gravity of the vehicle. Now the forces acting on vehicle are. This is the vehicle. There are three basic forces which are acting on vehicle, and three basic forces are. The first force is weight force. This is the vehicle has mass m. It exerts downward force. That downward force is nothing but the weight, and weight is given by mass multiplied by acceleration due to gravity. This is acting downward direction, acting vertically downward direction. So first force is weight mg, vertically downward direction. Then second force, when weight is acting downward direction, that means the vehicle exerts force. That means the weight force vertically downward direction. That means along this surface of the road. At the same time, this surface gives the opposite reaction, and that opposite reaction is called as the normal reaction. So this is the another force, normal reaction force, acting on this vehicle and acting vertically upward direction. So second is normal reaction, that is the N, and acting vertically upward direction, and balances mg. So this is the upward force acting on this vehicle, and this upward force, that is the normal reaction force, which balances the weight of the vehicles. It means N is balanced by the mg, or mg is balanced by the normal reaction. This we can write N is equal to mg. Then third force is force of static friction. Force of static friction. So while moving, this vehicle is moving towards left along this curved road. At that time, the tires, these are the tires of the vehicle, and this is the surface of the road. So there is frictional force. There is frictional force between the tires of the vehicles and the surface. There is frictional force, and that frictional force always exists parallel to the surface, parallel to the horizontal surface, and that frictional force is called as force of static friction. So force of static friction indicated by Fs, and this force of static friction always directed towards the center, of the track, center of the circular track, and this force, that is the force of static friction, acts along the radius, and towards the center of the circular motion. So that is why this is the force of static friction. It is the force which acts along the radius and directed towards the center. It is nothing but the centripetal force. And this force acts as the centripetal force and helps the vehicle to move along the circular track safely. So this force Fs acts as the centripetal force, and this centripetal force produces the circular motion of the vehicle. So these are the three main forces. First, weight acting downward. Second, normal action acting vertically upward. Both balances each other, and remaining force is the force of static friction. Force of static friction is directed towards the center of the circular track and acts as the centripetal force. Now, so force of static friction Fs acts as resultant force towards center C, and that is the centripetal force. Now we can write two relations. N is equal to mg. This is the equation 1. Then Fs means force of static friction, and this Fs acts as the centripetal force. Fs means centripetal force, and centripetal force we know in terms of the angular speed or linear speed. We can write force of static friction acts as the centripetal force, and centripetal force means mr omega square, or in terms of the linear speed mv square upon r. So these two equations we can write here. M is equal to mg, then Fs is equal to mr omega square is equal to mv square upon r. Equation 1 and equation 2. Now, in this equation, force of static friction depends upon the velocity, because we know mass of the vehicle is constant. Radius of the vehicle is also constant. So force of static friction depends only on velocity. Depends only on velocity of the vehicle. So as the velocity increases, force of static friction also increases. Velocity increases, force of static friction also increases, but force of static friction has a maximum limit. Has maximum limit beyond which we cannot increase the force of static friction. So as there is limit for the force of static friction, so there is corresponding limit for the maximum velocity or velocity. So Fs increases as the velocity increases. So with this, as velocity increases, V increases, Fs also increases to its maximum value. Fs also increases to its maximum value and gives maximum speed limit Vmax. Maximum speed limit Vmax. So for maximum speed limit Vmax, let's see for this curved road, maximum speed for the vehicle which is moving along this track, horizontal circular track, for this is the R is the radius. So for this circular track, for which the R is the radius, then this vehicle can move with a certain maximum speed, 7. So that maximum speed will reach when the force of static friction reaches to its maximum value. So V will be max. Velocity of the vehicle will be maximum only when the force Fs, that means the force of static friction, becomes maximum. Means Fs is maximum, at the same time velocity will be maximum. So for maximum speed limit, that means the V max, we get V max means maximum speed limit for maximum force of static friction. Maximum force of static friction. We know force of static friction Fs, its maximum value indicated by max. Max means maximum force of static friction. That is the frictional force. And frictional force always depends on the normal action. Frictional force Fs always depends on the normal action. And it is always equal to Fs is equal to mu s n. Fs is equal to mu s n. Mu s means it is the constant. It is the constant named as the coefficient of friction. And coefficient of friction depends upon the nature of the road surface. So Fs is equal to mu s n. Frictional force always equal to mu s n. But for maximum frictional force, it is also calculated as mu s n. So when force is maximum, we get corresponding maximum speed limit. So Fs maximum mu s n. Then arrange mu s is equal to Fs maximum divided by n. This is the equation number 3. Equation number 1, n is equal to mg equation 2. In the equation 2, velocity depends on frictional force. When the frictional force is maximum, we get maximum speed limit or maximum velocity of the vehicle. So let us consider maximum velocity at maximum frictional force. So equation 1 and 2. If we divide equation 2 by equation 1, equation 2 divided by equation 1 is Fs upon n. But for maximum speed, Fs is maximum. So Fs maximum divided by n. So equation 2 divided by equation 1, we get Fs divided by n. Fs divided by n is Fs maximum divided by n equal to, at the right hand side, mv square upon r. mv square upon r. But v is maximum. So mv square max upon r divided by mg means divided by mg in the bracket. So we get Fs maximum divided by n is equal to mv square max divided by r multiplied by, again at the denominator, mc. So we get cancel mass, remaining is Vmax square divided by rg. Then at the left hand side, Fs max upon n is equal to mu s. So Fs max upon n is mu s. So write your mu s is equal to, right hand side, V max square upon rg. So V max square upon rg, right here V max square upon rg. Then equate Vmax square is equal to mu s rg. Vmax square is equal to mu s rg. Then by taking the square root, we get Vmax, that means the maximum speed limit for the vehicle. It is equal to, at the right hand side, mu s rg, root of mu s rg. So this is the equation number 4, which gives the maximum speed limit for the vehicle which is moving along the horizontal curve road. So this is the horizontal curve road or circular road. So for this road, the radius is given r. So we can calculate maximum speed limit for the vehicle by using this equation number 4, which is Vmax is equal to under root mu s rg. So gives maximum speed which is possible for given radius. R. Okay, so this is the first application of the uniform circular motion. Thank you.